Okay, Rabbi Yisrael, this morning we're learning Siman Tov Ayin Zayin. So we're going to learn the two Seifim, Seif Aleph and Seif Beis, Be'ezras Hashem Yisbarach. Tov Ayin Zayin, we've finished eating the Shulchan Aruch, and now we're about to begin the Afi Kaiman. Says the Shulchan Aruch, Siman Tov Ayin Zayin, Seif Aleph. La'achar Gemar Kol HaSuda, after completing the entire meal, one eats from the shmura matzah, tachas mappa. Of course, we mentioned that one hides the matzah underneath a cloth, and one eats kazayis kol echad. Everybody has a kazayis, zeicher lePesach, which is a zeicher of the memorial of reminders of the Korban Pesach. Hanechal alasoi, but the Korban Pesach was eaten after the meal, after the chagiga, and when a person was full, as we mentioned yesterday. V'yechlenu beheseva. And one eats it leaning, v'lo yivorech olaf, but no bracha is required to be made before eating the afi kaiman. We'll see in the Mishnah Brura. So to be careful to eat the afi kaiman before chatzos. There's brackets over here. There's brackets over here in Ramah writing. Perhaps it's the Ramah, perhaps it's not. A person should preempt himself. Shagam ha'halel yikra. He should also read Hallel before Chatzos. So the Hallel, which is completed after benching, should also be completed before Chatzos. Let's take a look at the Mishnah Brura Sivkot and Aleph. Kazayis. Shulchan Aruch has told us when it's a Kazayis for Afikoim, the Kazayis of Matzah. Says the Mishnah Brura an interesting thing. Ideally, it's good to take two Kazaysim for Afikoimen, echad zeicher Pesach, the echad zeicher matzah hanecheres imoy, and one zeicher for the matzah which was eaten with the Korban Pesach. When they ate the Korban Pesach, it was eaten with matzah and marah. Matzah simbroirim yoichalu. So therefore, when we have the Afikoimen, we have a one matzah which is in a zeicher for the Afikoimen, and a second matzah zeicher for the matzah which was eaten with the Korban Pesach, and therefore one has ideally two kazesim when one has soften when one takes the afikomen. Mishavrurus if cotton base kol echad. Everybody should take a kazayis, or ideally two kazesim. For afnoshim chayavois bozeh, even women are obligated to have the afikomen. Shafin hoybois hanes. Women are obligated in all elements, all mitzvahs of Seder night, because they were also included in the nace, which either means that Rashi explains B'shum noshim tzidkonius nigalu, that in the merit of the women, the righteous women, Klal Yisrael were redeemed, and also others learn that it's because of the fact that they were included in the gezerah. Men and women were equally under the threat of Paroi and the Mitzrayim, and therefore they also included in the mitzvahs of the Laila of Pesach, although really the mitzvah Seishas Man Garoma, the positive mitzvahs which are at fixed time and noshim are paturais. Mishnah Brura Sivkatan Gimel Alas Soiva. Korban Pesach is eaten, and therefore the Afikomen is eaten when a person is full, eaten his meal. The end of the meal, Ein Elbas in the top 5, obviously 5 I got, Mashak Savlish on Mishnah Brura Sivkatan Dalet. Yichlene Be Seba, one eats the Korban Pesach, one eats the Afikomen leaning. But the evidence if it happened, the person forgot to lean. Says the Mishnah Brura, he doesn't have to repeat, to eat it again, leaning. Kosha olav hoachila. It's difficult for him to eat it again. He doesn't have to lean. Don't forget, we mentioned the Siman Tov Ayin Aleph, the opinion of the Rav Yah. Rav Yah holds that nowadays we don't know what leaning is, we don't lean. And although practically speaking we all lean, but yeah, if you come and a person didn't lean, doesn't lean, he doesn't have to come again. In kasha olav achila, if it's difficult for him to eat. Now, the implication of that line of the Mishnah Brura is that if it's easy for him to have another piece of matzah for afikomen, leaning, he should ideally do so. Problem with that is that the Chofetz Chaim wrote earlier in Siman Tov Ayin Beis, I think it was. There, the Chofetz Chaim writes that if a person didn't lean for the afikomen, he doesn't have to lean. He doesn't have to eat it again. Leaning, and the question is the apparent contradiction between these two places, which discusses somebody who didn't lean. Yeah. Top 5 basic Kochachov base. The Chofetz Chaim says there, if a person forgot to lean eating the afikomen, he doesn't eat it again. Because one shouldn't eat two afikomen. So it would appear to be a contradiction between our Mishnah Brura and the Mishnah Brura earlier. So to answer this, there are 3 different suggestions given. They're brought here in the Dushu note 5. At least in my edition, it could be a slightly different number in your edition. First of all, Moshe Feinstein, because Moshe says, well, here we're talking that the person's not yet benched, and he's not Washmai Machronim, and therefore he's still involved in his Achilas Afikomen, and therefore he should take another piece of matzah and lean if he can. But there it's talking about somebody who's already washed his hands, or he's already benched, or more so if he's benched, in which case he's already left and concluded the meal, in which case he doesn't go back and eat another afikomen, although he did lean for the first one. Shlomo Zalman says that here we're talking about the person's absolutely just still involved in eating afikomen. He's not finished eating the afikomen. So then, you know what? Take another kazayas and lean. But there we're talking about he's finished eating afikomen. Once the person's finished eating afikomen, he doesn't have to go back and lean. He relies on the Rav Yoch who says we don't lean nowadays. And the third suggestion of Chaim Kanievsky in Shon Halacha says that here we're talking about somebody who's not yet, his mindset is still not left eating afikomen, and there we're discussing somebody whose mindset that he's completed eating the afikomen. So basically, the tirut in which we're giving is it depends how far he's progressed from his eating afikomen as to whether he would have to go back and eat afikomen again, leaning. Right, Rabbi Yisrael, let's continue. We're learning Mishnah Brura, Siv Cotton, Siv Cotton, hey. There's no bracha al achilas afikomen. Why? It's only a zeicher. It's not an absolute a mitzvah like matzah. It's a zeicher. Well, it's a mitzvah, but it's not a mitzvah. A mitzvah of being a mitzvah. The mitzvah is a zeicher for the Korban Pesach, and therefore there's no bracha. The Shloh says, I've seen people who are striving in the Yiddishkeit. They kiss the matzahs in the morah. I suppose they're careful if they don't brog. They're careful shreya not to eat matzahs in water. Maybe they'd be careful how they kiss the matzahs in the morah. Anyway, similarly the sukkah when they go in and out. But for minim also, how much we love the mitzvah of Ashri Mish Hashem. The simcha, happy is the one who serves Hashem. But simcha, yeah, well, unfortunately at the moment, we are being asked not to kiss the mezuzah. At least that was the advice by some great rabbonim, because the concern of the virus and everything in its right time. We should be zoicha be'ez Hashem to be able to kiss our mitzvahs properly and do our mitzvahs properly as we always have done, not have the limitations of the illness, the mageifa, which is around us. We should be spared from it. Siif Katan Vav. The afikomen should be eaten before chatzos. Says the Mishnah Brura Siv Katan Vav. Bottom line of the Mishnah Brura. Shekiven shu zeicha lePesach. Since it is the zeicha of the Korban Pesach, tzarich la'achlet bisman Pesach. You have to eat it at the time the Korban Pesach would be eaten. Pesach einoi nechel al chatzos. And the Pesach is only eaten till chatzos, as we say every day in Ezehu Mekaimon. Pesach einoi nechel al chatzos. Now, the truth is that that's only half the story, because in fact it's a machlekes between Rebbe Kiva, Belozman Azariah, and Rebbe Kiva when the Korban Pesach can be eaten to. True, the Belozman Azariah says only to chatzos. Rebbe Kiva holds one can eat the Korban Pesach throughout the night till the morning. The question is how we pasken. This Bialocha over here discusses it. Machlekes Rishonim, how to pasken, and it could be even a Kunta Rebbe Kiva. Ideally, Mishum Harchoka, to be careful, one should anyway have it before chatzos. End of the day is a machlekes, and therefore we try to have the afikomen before chatzos, as the Mishnah Brura is writing over here in Siv Katan Vav. Right. As we turn the page, so the afikomen should be eaten for chatzos. the Korban Pesach. For Chol Shekain and all them also Kazayis Harishon, the first Kazayis Shemavorchen of Alachilas Matzah, the first Kazayis Alachilas Matzah before the Suda, for sure that should be before Chatzos. Shetochim Yizab Oido should be very careful. Shtole Achrei Ad Chatzos. This is the mitzvah min Torah, the only eating. Chicken soup on Friday night is not a mitzvah min Torah, not mitzvah min Torah. And all halishkas on sukkahs and the donuts on the Hanukkah, not mitzvah min Torah. There's only one mitzvah achila min Torah nowadays. First kazayas on Mil Seder, mitzvah min Torah. So that for sure should be done before Chatzos. If a person delayed, it's unclear if a person delayed this eating of the matzah after Chatzos is yotze or not. As we said, it's machlokes because it depends on the Korban Pesach. A person ate the matzah after Chatzos, and then he realized, gewalt, it was after Chatzos. He should have another piece of matzah without making a bracha out achilas matzah. What am I talking about? Sorry, that's a mistake. Sorry, no. It means if a person. Sorry, it means if a person. If a person delayed his Haggadah and he looks at the clock, it's after Chatzos, what should I do? Didn't need matzah for Chatzos. Can I still eat matzah? Well, it's really a safek. So there's the says the Mishnah Berurah, one should eat matzah after Chatzos because it could be still filling the mitzvah, but just don't make a bracha because perhaps one doesn't fulfill the mitzvah after Chatzos. The gam morer, even the bitter herbs, actual bidrapodon, although it's rabbinic, he's all a person to be careful to eat it, koidem Chatzos, before Chatzos from Eicha, and if it delays, you can play bracha again, eat it after Chatzos without a bracha. If time ticks by, and before he knows it, it's nearly Chatzos, it's got 5 minutes and time is ticking. So what should he do? Which mitzvah should we do quickly before Chatzos? The Kaddish, should make Kaddish. Yishte Kos Rishon, drink the first cup. For Liyitel Yadav, wash your hands. Skip out Haggadah, interesting. Skip out Haggadah. Say Hamoitzi Ba'ala Achilas Matzah. V'yoichal, have a kazayis of matzah. Kem Yivarech Al Morar, Ala Achilas Morar. Take Ef Koidem Chatzos, quickly before Chatzos. V'achakach Ma'ayim Haggadah. Then say the Haggadah, V'achakach Yisad Tzedosoi, and then eat his meal. Now, of course, ideally, Haggadah should also be before Chatzos. So therefore, if possible, one has a few extra minutes. One should, have before between the Kiddush and the Hamaitzi. One should obviously, if possible, say the main parts of Magid, and Gamliel and Manishtana, whatever. Whatever one can have the minimal part of Magid. But if there's not time, you haven't got time to do that, then the Mishnah prescribes Kiddush, Maitzi, Matzah, and then Chatzos, Haggadah, and then the Suda. The Emek Bracha asks on this order the Chavetz Chaim brings that he asks why the Haggadah is less important than the Morah. Surely Haggadah is Minat Torah, the Morah is only Rabbanon, and all the elements of the Seder night should be done before Chatzos ideally. So why should it be that the Morah, which is Rabbanon, Chavetz Chaim says should be before Chatzos, the Magid, which is D'oraisa, under the pressing circumstances, would be said after Chatzos, it's the choice of one of the two. Yeah, the brackets says at the top of the page, also Hallel should be said before Chatzos. The Mishnah Berurah Sifkot Zayin Rotzolema, that means in Berchos Mevorech Lacharel, the Hallel plus the bracha afterwards, Yom Lechatchila Koidem Chatzos, ideally should be said before Chatzos. Why should the Hallel be said before Chatzos? So they bring here, Dushu 11 brings down that some say the reason is in order that the fourth cup, all of the fourth cups should be done before Chatzos. The fourth cup is only recited after Hallel, and therefore Hallel should be said before Chatzos. Others say that Hallel is a din in the Korban Pesach. When you eat the Korban Pesach, needed Hallel, and therefore the din to Korban Pesach is before Chatzos. So therefore Hallel also should be said before Chatzos. Practically speaking, it can become late. And some people are more lenient on the second night. They're not so particular for Chatzos. They rely on opinions that says one can fulfill the mitzvah of the night till the morning, till Ois HaShachar. There is a Tanai, quite a famous Tanai of the Avnei Nezer, when it gets towards Chatzos and the person feels he's not going to make it. So then, I think before Chatzos, so then he has the Kazayas of Matzah before Chatzos, and he says the following stipulation: if the halacha is like the Rosh Hashanah says that a person can only fulfill the mitzvah laila till Chatzos, this is my afikomen. Eats afikomen. Chatzos, ding ding, and after Chatzos he can eat. I can eat after eating the afikomen. Yeah, but that's only in a time which is possible to fulfill the mitzvah afikomen. And since according to Rosh Hashanah, mitzvah afikomen is only till midnight. So therefore, after midnight, there's no prohibition to eat. And then he says, if the halacha is like the opinion of Rabbi Kiva, that one can fulfill the mitzvah afikomen throughout the night. So then, what I'm eating now is a piece of matzah. It's not the afikomen. I'll have my suda, and after the suda, I'll have another matzah for the afikomen. That's what Avnei Nezer says. Briskerov says that one doesn't even need to stipulate it. Even without a stipulation, automatically it would be that by eating the matzah in this way, one would fulfill the mitzvah. One doesn't even need to stipulate; it's automatic, as discussed here in Dirushu 10. And there are those who rely on the Avnei Nezer where necessary. There are those who rely on the Avnei Nezer always. There are those who never rely on the Avnei Nezer, always finish everything before Chatzos. And there are those that just carry on sweetly through the evening. But it's clear here from the posting which we're reading that ideally everything should be before Chatzos. Even the Hallel should be said, and the bracha after it should all be said before Chatzos. Sa'if base. Im shochach v'loi ochal. If a person forgot and did not eat the afikomen. He forgot and didn't eat the afikomen. Now we have to know that when a person comes towards the end of his meal and either he washes his hands or he says havlan v'navarich, he says, let us bench. Rabbi Simon benchen, Rabbi Simon varech. Any of these things really conclude in his mind the mindset of eating. And therefore, if he does want to eat food after that, he's going to need a bracha on the food that he plans to eat. Now, the question is, if a person forgot, as in the afikomen, and either he washed his hands for my machronim, or he said, Rabbi said nevorich, havlon and nevorich, the question is, then he remembers, I didn't have afikomen. What should he do at that point? Should he eat afikomen then with the bracha? Because since his mindset is he's clearly done activities to show his suda's finished, therefore he needs new brachas. He needs new bracha of afikomen, hamoitzi. Or no, perhaps we can say that although he did an act, he washed his hands, etc., which showed his distinct idea, his plan to stop the meal, but nevertheless his meal is not up to him to conclude. The conclusion of the meal is when HaKadosh Baruch Hu decides, and he says we have to have afikomen first. And therefore, the fact he's actively thinks he's concluded the meal, he hasn't actually concluded it at all. And therefore, he can continue, take the afikomen, and does not recite the bracha because it's still absolved from the bracha because of the hamoitzi recited right at the beginning of the Suda. In fact, before the Suda, when he made the bracha hamoitzi on the matzah. Now let's take a look at the Shulchan Aruch Seif base. Right, Seif base. Im shochach v'loy ochal afikomen. If a person forgot and did not eat afikomen, v'loy niska, and he only remembered achenotl yodav after he's washed his hands. Oisha Oma havlon v'nevorich, or he said Rabbi Simon v'en benchen. Oichal afikomen v'loy berachas hamoitzi. He says afikomen then, and he doesn't even need a new hamoitzi. As we've explained, because his meal is not concluded until HaKadosh Baruch Hu says it's meant to be concluded, which is after the afikomen. Mishnah Brura Sifkatan Ches. Although it's Simon Kufain test, Some say Dimama Havlon and Avorech have Hester Hadas. By saying Ravosa and Avorech, it's considered end of his mindset. Of Yitzalechel, Chlach so Avorech, if you want anything more now, need the Bracha Shoina. I mean, sorry, your Moitzi is finished because you said, let us bench. Or you washed your hands. Havlon here, we're relying on the table, the tray of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The entire that is not up to him to decide when his meal can be concluded. He must fulfill the Almighty's requirements. So he forgot, and that's why he washed his hands. Or he said, let's bench. That's not considered that the power of the bracha is concluded, and he continues to eat afikomen, relying on the hamotzi he made at the beginning of the meal. That's stage one. Stage number two. If he only remembered after benching, I forgot afikomen. If he remembers before he said on the third cup, Yitzal Yadov should wash his hands for Mayim Rishonim. Yivarach HaMoitzi, make HaMoitzi, Yechel Afikomen, and eat the Afikomen. The Achsel Yivarach because the Muslim bench again. Yivarach B'Ripri HaGofen, say the HaGofen on this second benching. Yishte HaKois, and drink the cup. So let's just continue one more line. If, however, he only remembers after saying the Hagofen of the third cup, he shouldn't eat afikomen now. He should rely on the matzah that he ate during the meal. Because obviously, hopefully, he ate matzah during the meal, which was Guta Shmura matzah. Shekul and Shmura Teim Rishas Lisha, because he only has with him matzahs which are Shomer Rishas Lisha, and therefore to take another matzah which is only Shomer Rishas Lisha is not worth it. Just rely on the matzah which he ate during the Suda, which was Guta matzahs. Right, so again, if a person only realized after benching, he realized, Gewalt, I didn't eat afikomen. So the Shulchan Aruch says, in that situation, if he's not yet made hagofen, he hasn't yet drunk the third cup, then what he should do is, the din is that he should wash his hands again, say hamoitzi, and eat the afikomen, bench again, and another cup with hagofen. The other cup meaning the third cup. He hasn't drunk yet the third cup. So the understanding of that is, and we'll see in the Mishnah Berurah, is that since he's not yet drunk the third cup, so he's got a good standing point. He's got a good point because we never want to have 5 cups drunk on Seder night with hagofen. This fellow, if therefore he hasn't said the third hagofen, so therefore he could go now, wash again, become moitzi, and have his afikomen bench. Then they'll say hagofen or have his third cup. That's Gavaldik. It's Gavaldik. Are you going to say, why does he need to wash? He washed from the Tilis Yadayim for Shulchan Aruch, when he's on his bench. Why does he need to wash again? So the Mishnah will explain that Tilis Yadayim depends on the person's mindset. The person during the meal has a mindset is he knows he's eating the meal, he has to guard his hands. But as soon as he finishes benching, he loses that mindset. Therefore, once the mindset is lost, the shmir on the Yadayim is lost, and he has to wash again. Moitzi, Ksais Afikomen, bench, then does a third case. Let's look at the Mishnah Berurah. Sivkotan Tes Yud. Tes and Yud. Sivkotan Tes. Yitl Yoda. So he remembered after benching before Hagofen of the third case, he washes again. Sivkotan Tes. Once he's benched, he's ready. His mindset is lost on it, and therefore the hands no longer have that mindset of shnira, and therefore he has to wash again. The Mishnah continues to wash to wash with the bracha is a bit questionable because really he has just benched, and at that point he remembers he needs to have another afikomen. He's enough afikomen, so not to make a bracha, but yes to wash. Sivkotan Yot. Yivarech Beri Pri Hagofen, and he washes until his yadayim, hamoitzi, kazayis afikomen, benching, and then very priagofen. So we've gotten yud. Was there so close she did the third cup? He didn't need to drink the cup close to the first benching. This third cup is at the end of the conclusion of his eating. This fellow forgot afikomen. So only now, after eating the afikomen and benching, now is the time to bench alakois. Until this point, he's not considered concluding the suda, and therefore this is the perfect time for him to drink the third cup. Okay, good. So again, the person forgot afikomen, and he remembers after saying havlon and nevorech, saying Rabbi Sen nevorech, he's washed his hand, said Rabbi Sen nevorech, nevertheless, takes some matzah, eats it, and doesn't make a bracha. It's considered a continuation part of the meal. If he's finished benching and then he remembers didn't afikomen, he hasn't said hagofen yet, washes his hands without a bracha, hamoitzi, ksais, afikomen, benching, third cup. Now, what happens if a person benched and said hagofen on the third cup, and then he remembers gaval, but then he'll have afikomen? Now it's a bit more tricky. We're not so keen on going back to have afikomen. Why not? Because when he has afikomen, he'll have to wash, have to afikomen, have to bench, and have to have another cup of wine after benching, which will mean that will be the fourth cup, and then there'll be a fifth cup after how? 5 cups. Most fellow cases, we never want to add to the cases to have 5 agofens or 5 cups of wine, as we can say that we avoid if possible. So therefore, we are keen to avoid him having to eat afikomen again. However, he hasn't eaten afikomen. So we'll see in the Shulchan Aruch, it depends exactly on the situation. If he would have eaten other matzah during the meal, which would qualify for his afikomen, which he would be happy to rely upon, then he wouldn't eat afikomen again. Otherwise, he would eat afikomen again, and then obviously wash afikomen, bench, and another cup afterwards. That's again, the cup afterwards would only be necessary if he always has a cup after benching. Our custom generally is we don't have a cup after benching, unless maybe there's a zimun, we would have. So this whole issue could be avoided. There'd be more reason for us, yes, to go back and eat afikomen again, because it wouldn't end up meaning we would have to have an extra hagofen on the benching afterwards, because anyway we don't normally bench al hagois. Says the Mishnah Shulchan Aruch. We'll just take this from 5 lines up from the bottom of the page of the Shulchan Aruch, I should say. He only remembered after hagofen. Don't go back to eat afikomen. You can rely on the matzah he ate during the meal. Assuming you had matzah during the meal, a standard, not a great matzah standard of matzah, but that's all the matzah he has. Shmura mishas lisha, which is only shomor from a later stage. So, and he did eat some of that matzah during the meal, so we can assume that will be his afikomen. Let's look at the Mishnah Berurah of Katan, Yud Aleph and Yud Beis, Yud Aleph. If we tell him to eat afikomen, eat it again. What's the problem? No. He's that would mean he has to bench again. Because someone sort of case, doesn't use the cup. For those who haven't used a cup for benching, in Cain and most of our cases will end up we'll have 5 cups with hagofen, which is not what we want on our seder. Because for the say because of the honey placing this fuel of the Elvis Kuf base, that's going to cause the opinions in some Kuf base. Because I'm on to case that benching needs a cup of wine. Generally, we take on, you don't need to bench over a cup of wine every meal. What's the problem? You said I got already on the 3rd cup. So, wash again, have afikomen, bench. You don't bench have a case. Anyway, you don't. Shulchan Aruch, however, was talking about they would bench after the cup, and therefore they would say, don't need afikomen again. Rely on the matzah you had during the meal. The matzah you had during the meal will be considered as afikomen. Although you don't plan that should be the afikomen, it will inevitably be the afikomen. After the how can that be afikomen? He had it between his soup and his meat course. How can he afikomen? You're not allowed to eat after afikomen. How could that matzah be afikomen? You ate afterwards. You ate afterwards. Oh, but do you have a yotza? Eating after Afikomen is something one doesn't do. If one did eat after Afikomen, the Afikomen is Yotza. So here, again, he benched. He said, I go off and, well, Afikomen. So the Mishnah Shulchan Aruch says, since washing and Afikomen and benching would require another case, best just to rely on the matzah he ate during the meal, assuming he ate matzah during the meal, and rather than washing and matzah and having to bench and have to make another geffen afterwards, because these opinions hold you have to bench like this. Siv Katan Yud Gimel. The Shulchan Aruch continues. Yeah, Siv Katan Yud Gimel. V'yismach ha'mashach seichasoda. Rely on the matzah he ate during the meal. Siv Katan Yud Gimel. If during the meal he didn't eat any matzah, which would qualify to be matzah shmura, after b'tchilas hasoda ochel kazayas matzah shmura gadin. I ate matzah during the meal, didn't eat any matzah, not at all. Nothing could even be qualified at all for shmura. When you have to Afikomen again, so the also miss Afikomen was there. He hasn't fulfilled it. So you have Afikomen. Because it has to be at the end of the meal, and he hasn't eaten at the end of the meal. The matzah does not fulfill the criteria of Afikomen, and he has to get back to the matzah again, and bench again, and bench back case again if that is necessary, like the opinion of those who do so. Right, says the Shulchan Aruch. Avo b'makom shenohagu la'asos shimur l'shem b'matzas mitzvah mishas ksira. Somebody who's particular, he always has extra proper matzah, which is has a more mahuda matzah, which is eaten mishas ksira. That's the matzah from the time of harvesting. That's the matzah he uses for his mitzvahs. And therefore, he can't rely on the matzah which he ate during the meal, which was only shomer mishas lisha, which is a substandard type of matzah. If that's the case, even if such a person only remembers after Hallel, if he washes his hands, eat the Afikomen, because he's not fulfilled the Afikomen by eating his substandard matzah he ate during the meal. He's going to have to now bench again, have another choice and make a gofen. Too bad, he has to fulfill mitzvah Afikomen. Save cotton Yud Daled Shomer l'Shem Shomer l'Matzas Mitzvah Mishas Ksira. The place there, or the person who's not necessarily the place. The person who's always has Matzas Mitzvah, premium Matzas Mitzvah from Mishas Ksira an earlier stage. Then he has to eat the Afikomen even after making Hagofen. And he didn't have any of this premium Matzah in the Suda. To rely on his Afikomen, he's going to have to wash again. Afikomen, bench, even if it means another Hagof, very pre-Hagofen at the end. As the Ramah concludes, afterwards we'll have to make another Hagofen on after the benching, the second benching. How he's going to say, what do you want me to do, Rabbi? I've just made Hagofen on the third cup. You're going to tell me to go again and have my Afikomen again from the Matzah Mishas Ksira because I wasn't getting to the Matzah I had during the meal because it wasn't as shmura enough for me, or because I didn't have any Matzah during the meal. What do you mean? But we're going to end up with 5 cups of wine, which you said I go for. Too bad, Sonny Jim. Too bad, because there's nothing you have to have Afikomen. Sivkotan Yud Zayin. Sivkotan Tesvov. Sorry, Tesvov. Yeah. Even if you only remembered after Hallel, he's got to eat again. Of course, also if he remembers before he began Hallel. For sure he should eat and make benching and bench HaKosev. Next, that's in minute. Are you going to say, how could you have another cup between his third and fourth cup? What do you mean? The third cup was a mistake. The cup he's having now is the third cup, and there's no issue involved. Even if he remembers only after Hallel, he has to have his Afikomen. But so long as he couldn't design, Afikomen, well, if you didn't have Afikomen, got to go back. You got to go back. You didn't have any matzah during the meal, which you can rely upon. You got to go back. It's going to mean an extra benching, an extra course on benching, that I go off in. Too bad. For ein lochos, don't worry about the fact he's most follow. Koises important your dain. She given to mitchila hoya koishlishi betos since the third cup was a mistake. Next koishlishi will consider this one to be the third one, and we'll consider it as if he wasn't most follow koises. Afshem keinush like a sidron shiktim nazeh kois shel halal shroilius achroin. Ein asedim akev. Although it's a bit strange because this cup which was having benching after halal, so now it's normally. You have a cup on benching, a third cup, and the fourth cup is on halal. This fellow, the cup benching wasn't valid. He made halal, a cup on halal was should be the fourth cup, is this time the third cup. And he's again, after that, it's having an afikoima, and it's going to apply another benching, another cup, which will be the third cup. The fact is the third and fourth cups are the wrong way around is not ma'akav, it's not, we won't disturb things. But that, the female shenegin, b'cholashon, the parach brings the muslim below kais, and b'zeh yechel afikoima below kais. For us, Ashkenazim, anyway, we don't bench ala kais. Therefore, it's really not an issue to go back and eat the afikoman. So, bekitza, the rule of thumb would be for somebody who generally doesn't bench ala kais, go back and make hamoitzi again, have your afikoman, bench, and then be mevorech al ha. Kais, if necessary. No, I forget. Sorry. Nowadays, a person doesn't need to borrow kais. So again, even if again, sorry, a person who benched, even if he's had the third cup and then he remembers, or even if he said halal and then he had the cup and he remembers, doesn't matter. He can still wash again. He's have a koman, bench, and he doesn't need to make another hagofen, and he should make another hagofen because he's ready. He doesn't need to. He never does. He never makes hagofen other cookies, and he's ready to fill the third cup after the first benching. That is valid. Of course, if he remembers he hasn't even after he remembers straight after benching before the third cup, so he washes, and moitzi, eats, benches, and then he does a hagofen. I hope that's clear. Rabbi Yisai, looking forward to welcoming you back again tomorrow. B'shar Tova Mutzlachas. For the exciting Simon Tov, Ayin Ches, all about eating after the Afikoman.